What's up? What's up? What's the deal? What is the deal? Let some of y'all come through here real quick. Let some of y'all get here real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let some of y'all come through here real quick. See what y'all boys in here talking about. You know what talking about? Stuff to talk about. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What's the deal? What's up, man? What's good with you? Already. Already. Make sure you hit that like button when y'all come through here now. Now make sure you hit that like button now. Don't forget, make sure you hit that like button now. Come on now, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Make sure you hit that like button when y'all come through here. What's up? What's the deal? I'm gonna let a couple more of y'all come through here for a little quick minute. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all let me know y'all up in this thing. Hold up. How you feel about Derek Stingley? Well, Sting, Derek Stingley. Man, yeah. Hey, I'm glad. I'm glad he came back. You know what I'm saying? I think last week was his best game as a pro. Honestly, I think that was his best game as a pro. Best game as Houston Texan, obviously. He looked like the third overall pick. He looked like a number one corner, third pick. He made impact plays. We could talk about the interception, end up leading for a touchdown, but probably the most impactful play he made. But his two most impactful plays, one turned to direct points. It turned to a touchdown by CJ, that touchdown run he had, and then the next play made make sure he forced the guy out of bounds on the key third down to able to get your offense back, the football back with like 3 minutes left to go, like with like a little over 3 minutes, like 3:05 left to go on the clock, and you all 3:05 left to go on the clock, and you at that time you was gonna have two timeouts plus a 2 minute warning, and like I said, everybody in that building, like we you couldn't tell none of us in that building that CJ Stroud wasn't gonna lead the Texans down there and score a touchdown. Forget kicking a game time field goal. We all felt that we were going to score and win the game. Like we thought the game was over as far as the Texans would go down there and C.J. Stroud was going to go down there and score. But I mean those things happen. But those plays are impacted by Stingley, because if Stingley lets that play go in bounds, we're probably talking about Jacksonville either running out the clock or at the very least putting up a touchdown on the board. And now we're talking about a 10-point deficit with less than 3 minutes left to go in the game. So it's a wrap that way. So it was an extremely impactful play, man. Extremely impactful play. You know what I'm saying? Like it was extremely impactful play. Man, yo, man, what's the deal? What's the deal, bro? Hey, so I want to talk about, because this game coming up against the Denver Broncos, man. So this game is the game that the Texans did end up getting flexed. It was a 3 o'clock, a 3:15, 3:30 game, something like that. Either 3:15, 3:25, 3:30, something like that. It was an afternoon game, and they flexed it to the noon game. I know some people like that's not really a flex. A flex is getting flexed to a primetime game, and yes, typically so that is what the case is. But what they did was, not only did they flex us into the noon slot, which is the slot that all the Texans games are previously, which were all the Texans games are previously.
Also Chick-fil-A.
Oh, what happened? Okay, my bad. But yeah, so that game ended up getting flexed. That game ended up being flexed into the 12 o'clock game, and because of that, all right, what this does is it puts the Texans in a prime time spot as far as national coverage. If I'm not mistaken, I think that this game ended up going to I think like the mass was supposed to be like maybe like 20%, or like just the Texas local market, and the Denver Broncos local market was going to be able to watch and cover this game. Now over 50% of the United States is going to be able to watch this game, so it puts way more eyes on the Texans. And like I said, they've already acknowledged that they made a mistake by not giving the Texans a primetime game. That's already been acknowledged and stated, and that's why they were flirting with the opportunity against the Jets in 2 weeks to make that game a Monday Night Football game, because we play the Jets at the Jets Stadium on Sunday, On Monday, the New York Giants host the Green Bay Packers in that same stadium because the Giants and the Jets play in the same stadium. So okay, hey, we could flex those games as far as switch them. Same production crew that everybody's going to be able to stay at the same stadium. No, we don't have to change any of those things. Only thing we're doing is just changing the two teams. We're just flipping teams around. But they were hesitant to do it, one, mostly because of the Jets and the type of season the Jets have had. The Jets have had a lot of primetime games, and their draw numbers, especially since Aaron Rodgers got hurt, their draw has went completely down. And that was one of the things that the NFL, the television markets were concerning. Yes, they want to put CJ on national TV. They want to get CJ out there. They want to see CJ as well. They want the country to see CJ. They know that that's a big national story that half the country is missing because the Texans have been stuck with no primetime games and been stuck in these noon slot games when only really the Texans media and also people who or whoever the opposing team is playing against. I mean, is getting to watch it. Outside of the people who are not the Texans opponents and the people in the Texas media market, those guys don't get to see the Texans games unless you got streaming and things like that. Unless you got the NFL package or whatever else you have to be able to watch games. So that was something they were trying to rectify. But again, it was still the Giants and Green Bay. So one of the things they were hoping, okay, hey, if we can get some more buzz on this game, maybe if Aaron Rodgers is coming back, or at the very least, the Jets and the Texans the Texans continue to win, the Jets start winning, and these other teams start losing. And this past weekend really was the worst weekend for that situation because both Green Bay and the Giants both won this weekend, and both the Texans and the Jets end up losing. Once the Jets lost on Friday on the game, I thought it was over then. Like I thought, they're not gonna put us on no matter what happens. And the Texans and the Texans game or the Giants Patriots game, no matter what happened in either one of those two games, I didn't feel like they were going to move it because of the Jets. I think that was the one thing that they really definitely needed. They needed the Jets to come out strong and be able to pull a draw. They needed the Jets to come out strong, and not only did the Jets lose to the Dolphins, they played bad. They played extremely bad, like they are. So, and I think today was the deadline. They had to be done by the day if the game was going to get flexed. It did not get done. I didn't see any notification to this live. And I'm pretty sure the NFL offices are closed. It's not going to get done. So this is the only, as of right now, this is the only game that has been flexed. Maybe another potential game, maybe the Christmas Eve game against Cleveland because that game is going to have playoff implications. And maybe possibly the last game of the season against the Colts. That game, because that game doesn't have a time slot yet, because none of the last games of the season have time slots because of that. Because what they do is they try to make the best matchups to make either primetime games on Saturday night or Sunday night. So those are probably the last two options because the other two games we have on our schedule is the Titans. I don't see neither one of those Titan games end up getting flexed. So So we'll see, but I do think some of the Thursday night games will get be able to get flexed. So who knows? Something could end up happening. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think that game against the Browns could end up being flexed from Christmas Eve to the Thursday night game. It could be, possibly, potentially, but I don't know. But it is also a Christmas Eve game. They might want to keep it. So that's all. That's who knows. But as of right now, as it stands right now, that's the reason why they flexed this game. And this game now has playoff implications. I know they're upset because of how boring that Monday football game was against the Bears and the Vikings. They really wish they was able to flex that Texans Jags game and how bad the Thanksgiving game was, and also how bad the Black Friday game was on Friday. Like the Texans, and the Sunday game with the Ravens and the Chargers, and that should have been a good draw, and I'm pretty sure it was a good draw, but it wasn't a good football game. The Texans Jags was a good football game. That's why I said earlier that you cannot predict what games are going to be good and what games are going to be bad off top. You can have a good guess, but anything can happen. Even good matchups like the 2 weeks ago the Eagles and the Chiefs game on Monday night. Well, last week rather. That game on paper looks like it's going to be a phenomenal game. It was a decent game, but you felt like it could have been a better game. I know it was a close game, but Kansas City did not look like Kansas City in that game. They were dropping passes all over the place. It did not look like what you was expecting when you put that game on the schedule. Like when they put that game on the schedule and put that game for Monday night, they thinking they're getting a rematch of the Super Bowl. They're thinking they're getting that type of game. And it was a good close game, but it wasn't the same type of fireworks that we see in the Super Bowl. Obviously, the teams are different, so you know. Same thing with the Thursday night game with the Ravens Ravens and the Bengals. Joe Burrow gets knocked out of the game in the first half, and then that game is gone over. Like that game no longer has any more intrigue once Joe Burrow got knocked out of the game a couple weeks ago. So you cannot predict how these even games that should be good games on paper, even leading up to that week, end up not being good games sometimes because of anything can happen. Sometimes teams just play bad too. So sometimes bad teams end up giving you good, phenomenal, exciting games. So, but anyway, like I said, this right here puts the Texans on the stage where the 50% of the country gets to watch the Houston Texans. 50% of the country gets to watch Houston Texans in this game on Sunday versus the Denver Broncos. So this is something that the Houston Texans, all eyes are starting to be on the city right now. And it's really starting to wrap it up. I noticed it a couple weeks ago after the win against the Arizona Cardinals. Because, before, what I'm saying, when we had the 5 touchdown game and 400 yards and stuff like that against Tampa Bay, they really didn't go into deep depth about the game. They just talked about how good CJ looked and the touchdowns and the numbers and things like that. Then the Joe Burrow game against the Bengals. And I'm pretty sure people watched that game because, again, it was Joe Burrow and the Bengals. The Bengals were hot at that moment in time. I mentioned Texas been facing a lot of teams that have been hot and been rolling. Like, because we ended the Bengals win streak as well. So they was hot, they was rolling and all these type of things. And then that game, like I said, after that game, a lot of national coverage, the CJ talk, CJ MVP, all these type of things. Then the game against the Cardinals. One's the Cardinals, and two, CJ threw 3 interceptions. I was expecting to hear the MVP conversation was over, whether he threw 3 picks, because I was expecting people to not watch the game. I was expecting people to look at the stats. Oh, he threw 3 interceptions. Oh, he must have had a bad game. But no, people actually were breaking down his interception and say, okay, yeah, that first interception, he threw in the double, triple coverage in the end zone. He got to be smart. That's a rookie mistake, blah, 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 blah. But then the other interception, the tip one to the one that was tipped by Robert Woods, they blamed it. They put it on Robert Woods, say it was tipped, things like that. Then the last one, the Tank Dale, they ended up talking about that, talking about, hey, what he could have did here, what should have happened. It might not all be on CJ. The receiver could have helped him out. Maybe that route shouldn't have been ran that way. I don't like the play call. All these other type of things. I'm like, hold on. They actually breaking down CJ Stroud's interceptions, so they actually watched the game. They actually watched and broke down the game against the Arizona Cardinals. It wasn't against the Cincinnati Bengals or against the Baltimore Ravens or against the Kansas City Chiefs or against the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, or the Pittsburgh Steelers. No, this is against the Arizona Cardinals. Like, this is against the Arizona Cardinals, and they actually breaking down the game. Someone knows, okay, hell, wait a minute, hold up. They really starting to watch. And speaking of watching, I see more people that jumped in. Make sure you hit that like button now. Y'all came through here. Make sure you hit that like button when y'all come through. Y'all came through here. Make sure, likes is them freeze. Make sure you hit that like button. It's very, 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 very key and important to the channel. Very, very key, very, very important to the channel. So make sure you hit that like button when you come through. I definitely really appreciate that. Make sure you hit that like button when you come through here. But like I was saying though, what it is like I was surprised. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. They starting to pay attention now. They starting to really watch. They not just stat watching. They really watching. And then this game against Jacksonville. Now I assume the game against Jacksonville because it was starting to be built up because people start saying, wait, remember the Texans already beat the Jags. Hey, the Texans beat the Jags here at home. Hey, the Texans they gonna take over the division. Blah 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 blah. And so people actually watched the game. And the Texans had a segment again. And they really just passed by the Jags. Oh yeah, the Jags won the game. The Jags, okay, they're a good team, blah blah blah. But then they start talking about the Texans, and man, I kind of expect the Jags to win, but the Texans, CJ, there was still a lot of conversation. I'm like, hold on, they really is watching now. They really is watching. Man, I thought the kicker was gonna make the field goal. Man, at first it looked like it wasn't going in, but then it started going. I'm like, I thought. Okay, hold wait, they still watching. Now they up here talking about the Chicago Bears and they trades and what Justin Fields should be doing and what they should do with Justin Fields and talking about the foundation ain't broken right. And then name drop the Texans because you look at a team like the Texans, they got a good foundation over there. They got their quarterback, they got their head coach. Like, hold on, now they start name dropping us in other segments. We get our own segment. Now they start name dropping us in other segments. That's the reason why they want us on TV, man. That's exactly the reason why they want us on TV. They want that because, again, they keep talking about this greatest rookie year of all time. And I'm tired of people keep saying talking about the greatest rookie year of all time. bro, this is one of the best seasons of all time. Like, this is a great season. Like, the stuff that CJ is doing is not just best rookie of all time. This is one of the best seasons of all time. Like, this is just a very good season. Forget just rookie season. It's a very good season of all time, let alone rookie season. It's not just one of the best rookie seasons of all time. It's one of the best seasons of all time. Not just the best rookie season of all time. It's one of the best seasons of all time. So when you see in this going on, and you hearing everybody saying this week after week after week after week after week, like, hey, this kid's in the MVP race. This kid's leading the MVP race. This half the country hasn't seen him. But they got to see Bryce Young twice, though. They got to see Bryce Young in that horrific offense twice. Do you know the Texans they're 10th in the league in scoring? It's 10th in the league in scoring. They're 6th in total offense. They're in top 10 in almost every offensive statistic except for rushing yards. Rushing is the only thing they're not top 10 in. Everything else, from first downs, converting third downs, they're top 5. They're top 5, or they're like right at 7 to 8, and some of them they are at 10 in the whole NFL. This is a very good offense. Scratch that. This is a damn good offense. And it's led by a rookie quarterback out there throwing the football. C.J. Stroud has the last 4 games has thrown over 300 yards. He's thrown over 300 yards for the last consecutive 4 games. Has put up multiple touchdowns in the last 4 games. Now, one against the Bengals, it was a rushing and a passing touchdown. Other than that, he's thrown multiple touchdowns in the last 4 games. I just did a video the other day. He's had 10 touchdowns in the month of November. He's thrown for 10 touchdowns in the month of November and ran for 2. Having that very high-taint offense out there, putting up points all over the yard, throwing the football all over the yard, putting up yards all over the yard. You got Tank Dell almost reaching that 1,000. You got Nico Collins almost at that. You got 2 almost 1,000-yard receivers. You got another guy, Noah Brown, who used to play for the Dallas Cowboys. So a lot of people in the NFL fan base know who he is because they know the Dallas Cowboys. You know how many fans the Dallas Cowboys have. They up here mad that they don't got Noah Brown no more. Because, man, Noah Brown ain't never did that with the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, because y'all got Dak Prescott, not C.J. Stroud. Like that type of situation. And we're doing this, for the most part, without a running game outside the last 2 of the last 3 games. We actually had a running game. Outside of that, we really had no running game for real. We ain't had no running game on Sunday. That's part of the problem when it comes to the Texans, especially on that 3rd and 4th and 1, we didn't run the football. So because of that, when you add all that in, and you use all those things in, you add all that in, and all those things start becoming factors in this, you see why. And also, not to mention, the Texans are winning football games. We've already doubled our win total from last year. And we're just a couple more wins away from adding up more wins that we've had the last 3 years combined. Right there is okay. Hey, we're not just tired of hearing about this kid. We want to see this kid. The problem is the Texans' opponents in some of these games when there's actually able for movement to move for primetime games. Because like I said, now we do have the Colts later on in the season. We got the Bengals. Not the Bengals. We have the Browns on Christmas Eve. And I think that game is going to be hard to move because one is Christmas Eve. So where you're going to be moving it to Christmas Day, I think you possibly can move it to the Thursday night game, maybe. But again, they don't got Deshaun Watson, so they kind of like it's like the whole peanut butter no jelly, ham no burger type situation. Like, okay, we got the matchup with the Texans and CJ, but his opponent is what it was bringing up short. And like next week would have been the week. Denver's rolling. The Texans rolling. This will be perfect to move into their slot. But you got the Sunday night game is the Chiefs and the Packers. They're not moving Patrick Mahomes. I don't care how much they want to see C.J. Stroud. They're not moving Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the field. They're not going to move their golden goose. They're not going to move their. People are going to tune in to watch the Kansas City Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes is playing. A lot of people have Patrick Mahomes on their fantasy team. If they're not Patrick Mahomes fans, they got Patrick Mahomes on their fantasy team. Or people just hate watching. They want to watch the Kansas City Chiefs lose. They ready to see Pat. They ready to see Pat not win games, things like that. So they're going to throw Patrick. Anytime Patrick Mahomes has a primetime game, they're not going to move Patrick Mahomes. So that's a wrap. I don't really know exactly what the Monday night game is. I can't remember exactly what the Monday night game is. Oh, and then the Thursday night game this week is the Dallas Cowboys. They're not going to move the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys could be 0-17. They're not going to move the Dallas Cowboys. They're not. They're just not. They're just not going to move the Dallas Cowboys. You say Stroud's the new golden goose. Hopefully, we get to that point that he is the golden goose, and he is that big of a draw for the NFL. I've been saying this. Maybe after the Tampa Bay game, especially after the Cincinnati game, that C.J. Stroud has earned the Houston Texans 3 primetime games guaranteed next year. Not saying they're gonna have more. Not saying they're gonna have less than that, but they're gonna have more than that. That's the Monday game. You saw right. It is Jacksonville versus Cincinnati. That game could have been moved once they found out that Burrow was getting hurt. Well, I mean, once they found out that Burrow was hurt, they could have moved that game. That's a game they possibly could have moved. I don't know exactly why they didn't. I don't know why they didn't. I know why they didn't move the Sunday night game. I guess technically because it is two good teams as far as record wise, but I do think they could have moved that game. That game could have afforded to be moved because no one's checking for the Bengals. Like, to be honest, if the role was reversed, they wouldn't flex that game. Like they wouldn't flex the Bengals and the Jags into a primetime slot if it wasn't a primetime slot already. They wouldn't have flexed it. They wouldn't have flexed it into a primetime spot. So they could have and should have. Like, they really don't flex Monday night games like that. Like, I can't remember the last time they flexed a Monday night game. They flexed Sunday night games plenty of times. They flexed one. We actually were a benefactor of a Sunday night game getting flexed back, what was it, 2015? When the Texans started rolling, they had flexed the game against the Texans and the Patriots. They had flexed that to the Sunday night game. That's the game when Clowney first had multi-double-digit sacks, and the Texans lost, I think, like 20-something to 6 or something like that. That was the Brian Hoyer year that Brian Hoyer was starting. Like, so they have flexed in the past in favor of the Texans. I know other games they've gotten flexed. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've known them to flex other Sunday night games. Sunday night games is mostly the games that they normally flex. They really don't flex. I don't know if they always had the capability to flex Monday Night Football games. They just never did it. I don't remember. I really don't remember because normally Monday Night Football games be bad. For the past couple of years, Monday Night Football games been bad. Now Thursday night games, they just started that this year about flexing Thursday night games. This is a new thing since Jeff Bezos has went over and bought Amazon Prime, because you know that game on Friday, Sunday Night Football, not Sunday Night Football, that Black Friday game cost Jeff Bezos $100 million. He paid $100 million for that game to be broadcast on Friday night because I forgot what president it was back like in the 60s or in the 70s had signed a bill that the NFL could not play on Fridays or Fridays or Saturdays until after, I think, like the second week in December, because it competes with college football and high school football, so they can't play it. I know during the COVID year we had some Friday night games, but that was later on in the season. That was like around Christmas or right after Christmas and things like that. So they normally don't. They can't do it unless it's that deep in the season, unless the Black Friday because it was Thanksgiving weekend. It gave them some wiggle room, and also they had to pay a certain amount of money because they needed the game to be broadcast in a different time. It couldn't be broadcast at 7 o'clock at night like a normal primetime game is. That's the reason why the game aired at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It had to fit a certain time window because of where it was. And it cost Jeff Bezos $100 million to do so. Speaking of costing people $100 million, make sure y'all hit that like button, man, because I see more people coming in here, but the likes ain't going up. Hey, man, it's very, very key and vital that y'all hit that like button. It's very good for the algorithm, so y'all know when I go live, y'all know when I post videos, y'all know when I post shorts, y'all will get the notification. Sometimes YouTube be tripping and they want to give notification because I need the interaction. That's why I need the comments. I need all those things involved. That's why I say like, comment, and subscribe. I don't just be saying it. It's very vital to the channel. It's very vital and very key to the channel because it helps the engagement, helps the algorithm. So when I go live, when I post shorts, when I post videos, when I post notifications, when I post in the community wall, anything that I do, it helps you get, even though you be subscribed, sometimes YouTube does not send out those notifications and it doesn't pop on your feed if it doesn't look like the channel is getting a lot of interaction, because it looks like, okay, nobody cares about the channel. Even though you got subscribers, nobody cares about the channel. So even though that's the case, I still need y'all to like, I still need y'all to subscribe, I still need y'all to comment. So make sure while y'all up in here, make sure you hit that like button. While y'all up in here, make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all comment. like I said, go to the community. I post stuff in the community tab too. Go to the community wall and comment, like, do those type of things that help out the algorithm. I definitely appreciate that. Y'all don't know how much I definitely appreciate that. But because of that, like I said, that cost Jeff Bezos and not the NFL, because the NFL wasn't gonna pay it, and no other network has paid before. Fox, CBS, ESPN, none of these other networks are willing to pay that. Jeff Bezos, because he paid so much money for the Thursday night game, that's why he did it. That's the same reason why, and I'm pretty sure because of that, one of his part of his trade-offs were, hey, I need y'all to make sure I get better Thursday night games. But it didn't work this year because it seemed like all the games, all primetime games in general have been looked bad. That's why I be laughing at that at the NFL scripted stuff, because y'all think if the NFL was actually scripted, if they really was scripted NFL, if the NFL was actually legitimately scripted, don't y'all think they'll script better games for primetime games? Like the primetime games would be all the primetime games would be epic close games and be like, oh man, that's one of the best games ever. At the very least, it'd be one of the best games that week. It wouldn't just be a horrific game, boring game to watch. If it was scripted, if all those things were scripted, like come on, man. I know a lot of people be trolling when they be doing the whole NFL scripted, but you do got some people out there believe that stuff. And if y'all want people that believe that stuff, please trust me. If the NFL was scripted, we would not have bad primetime games. Like we would, now maybe the regular game, maybe a regular game at 12 o'clock on noon or 3 o'clock on 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe you gonna find some bad games there. But these Thursday, Sunday night, and Monday night games, especially the one game of the day, like a Thursday night game. People come to that game. That game right there will probably be the most impactful game because it's the first game of the week. Like that game definitely be it, man. Definitely be it. Hey, man, shout out to that boy Chris for the Super Chat love. Definitely appreciate that, man. Hey, Texan fans, y'all blame the rest, but Trevor worked for over 350 yards and only 2 touchdowns from the defense. He wasn't pressured at all. Shout out Chris for the Super Chat love. Even though Trevor threw for 350 yards, to be honest and to be fair, even though Trevor threw for 350 yards, Trevor didn't throw for 350 yards. Like, he had I think it was like 4, we gave him 4 plays for over 40 yards. And it wasn't like, I think maybe one of those plays, Trevor actually dropped back and really just launched it and just threw it. Outside that, like, Trevor really dumped the ball. I ain't gonna say like a dump off like a screen pass, but like he really wasn't dicing up the Texans. Like, if you really looking at the numbers, oh man, Trevor going diced up the Houston Texans. He didn't really dice up the Houston Texans. We was missing tackles, we was out of position, and we was letting guys run after the catch. It was a lot of yak yards. A lot of guys was running after the catch and making plays. Hey, and big person, they got some talent over there. They I know a lot of people don't want to hit this. Texas fans don't want to hit this. The Jags got talent, and the Jags are a decent team. They not 8-3 for nothing. They didn't just wake up 8-3. They didn't just wake up 8-3. Like they 8-3 for a reason. They 4-1 in the division. They 6-2 in the conference. Like Jacksonville is a good team, and it's gonna be hard pressed to get the division away from them because. That's why that game Sunday was very vital for the division. Not only would it gave us the division lead at that moment, it was really our best opportunity to get the division lead because Jacksonville has played well, especially against the division. They swept the Colts, and they've already beaten the Titans. We need them to win. We need them to lose another game somewhere else in the conference in the division, and they didn't do it. So it's going to be very, very hard pressed. It's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be very, very hard pressed to get back into the division. And shout out to that boy Black Virginia for the Super Chat love. It was Thomas trash ass. I hope King starts at nickel. shout out Black Virginia over 9,000 for the Super Chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, Tavia had a rough game, bro. Like Tavia, the secondary, to be honest, the secondary in general had a bad game outside Derek Stingley and Steven Nelson for a couple plays. There's some plays Steven Nelson was bad too, but Steven Nelson makes plays, especially on their last drive. Steven Nelson makes plays. And also, Steven Nelson was robbed by giving the bull pass interference call when the receiver slipped. I forgot who it was. The receiver stumbled and slipped, and because the receiver stumbled and slipped, the ref just seen him out the back of his eye and just threw the flag. Just assumed that Steven Nelson held him when he didn't. The receiver just slipped and fell. Well, not even fell. He just slipped and stumbled, lost his footing, and because he slipped and fell and lost his footing, they automatically assumed that he had to be grabbed and pulled down and yanked down and things like that, which that was not the case. He did not get pulled or yanked down or anything like that. That was not the case, but they automatically assumed that, and they threw a bull flag because of that. It was just bull. They threw a bull flag because of it. It shouldn't have been called, but it is what it is. I digress. But that's what ended up happening. But anyway, that was a bad play. Like I said, Darius Stingley played phenomenal. Like I said, I believe he played the best game of his career as a Houston Texan. But outside of that, everybody else played bad. Everybody else played bad. And Tyree Thomas got all those passes. And some of the passes in front called were egregious. Like one of the ones in the end zone that helped them convert a third down. That was a bad play. Was a bad call. But like I said, Tyree Thomas did not have a good game. He probably had his worst game at the very least as a Texan. I mean, I don't know if he had his worst game ever, but definitely his worst game as a Texan. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Desmond King can do. And shout out to boy Chris once again with the super chat love. Not just the secondary and pass rush did not show up. That's true, especially after they lost either with their left tackle, right tackle, one of their tackles. They lost one of their tackles in like early on in the game, and they weren't able to do anything. Like, they weren't able to do anything. Like Willie Lanson didn't get home. Neither did Jonathan Gennard. Like we did. You're right. You're exactly right. We did not put any pressure on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. He's a guy that you get if you get him to move a lot, you start putting pressure on him, he's gonna make bad decisions. And we didn't get that. We didn't get that situation. We didn't get that situation. Oh, whoa. Oh, my bad, y'all. I'm watching the Magic and the Wizards game, and that boy Jalen Suggs just did a nice alley oop to Cole Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Orlando Magic, best team in the Eastern Conference. But hey, I know some of y'all ain't want to hit it. Y'all know what y'all want to talk about. Y'all want to talk about that. Y'all want to talk about the Texans. We can talk about Texas. I just want to make sure I put that out there. Best team in the Eastern Conference. But anywho, like I said, we didn't get any pass rush. You're right. We didn't get any pass rush. The refs were a factor in the game. They absolutely were. Like I said, I still think the secondary. I still think that the secondary is more of a factor in that game on Sunday. I think the secondary was more so a factor because you did allow Jacksonville able to go up and down the field. Second, I believe it's pass protection. You didn't protect CJ and your quarterback when you needed it the most. You didn't get your secondary to you didn't get your secondary to you didn't get your secondary. I'm not the secondary. Your pass protection to show up when it mattered the most in crucial situations. Like I said, your secondary, then your pass rush, and then I can sit up and say the rest because the refs heard the offense like twice. But a big with 50 yards, 60 yard, 70 yard play to Tank Dell got called back for a illegal shift that did not happen, and then the most egregious call ever was Tank Dell being called a catch initially on the sideline. It was called a catch initially. When he first called it, they said for a first down, Houston Texans, and they initially called it the first down. Then the other ref comes around and they want to sit there and talk, and then they decide no catch. Then the NFL goes and review it. After the NFL reviews it, now they're saying it's not a catch. It's upheld. It's not a catch. The Texans don't get the football. I think that's when we end up having to kick in the first field goal and miss. That right there is the worst call because again, if that Tank Dell play stands, at the very least we're in field goal range, and I'm pretty sure Amendola can make that field goal. I'm pretty sure Amendola makes that field goal. If Amendola makes that field goal, that means that on that last possession, we're going for the win. At the very least, we have potential to go into overtime, and things can change. We can have a different outcome. So, like I said, I'll put more onus and more blame on that. Of all the bad calls that happened, that call right there to Tank Dell, because that call directly flipped points. If it directly flipped points. And shout out to boy Chris once again with the super chat love. Why is CJ scared to run if he had a choice? CJ's not scared to run. CJ has been taught and conditioned not to run, to sit back, trust his eyes and his arm, and don't really trust his legs unless it has to be the last result. And I do feel like he did have some rushing lanes that he could have made some plays in. On that last play, on that 12th and the third and 12, he actually had enough room to make. He had enough room to run to gain some yards to run out of bounds. He could have gained something on that play. I'm telling you, they had to tell him to get the first down. They had to be in the play. They had to tell him to get the first down. I don't know if it's because of the timeout situation or whatever, but they had to tell him get the first down because they did not operate like they operate like we had to get the first down. If we don't get the first down, we just kick the field goal. But they didn't tell him. They didn't give him with that notion at first. Hey, get some yards and get us in field goal range. So I feel like they felt like that they were going to go for it. They were initially going to go for it. Maybe if they would have, if they would have got a yard, if they would just got a couple of yards or whatever, they would have went for it. But I guess because of the situation, I really can't answer. I'm just going by speculation. But when it comes to CJ, I don't think that CJ's not scared to run the football. He's just been told, because he was a dual threat quarterback coming out of high school. But his high school coach wanted him to drop back and throw the football more because he said that's going to be your best opportunity and chance to get to play NFL. Play college football. Then he gets to Ryan Day, Ohio State, and they second that. Like, if you want to play in the NFL, you want to play in this next level, this next league. Your bread and butter has to be dropping back and throwing the football. That's how I run my offense. That's how I want you to run my offense. I don't need you to be Justin Fields because you're not as dynamic as Justin Fields. You're not Justin Fields. You're not like Ohio State. You're not Justin Fields. I need you to drop back and throw the football around the football field. I don't need you to try to run around. You're not Johnny Manziel. I don't need you to run around and try to make plays with your leg. So that's the reason why I don't feel like he's scared to do it. It's just something that he's been conditioned not to do. Kind of similar to Patrick Mahomes. Because Patrick Mahomes, if you go watch Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, Patrick Mahomes ran a lot. We ran a lot of read option at Texas Tech with Patrick Mahomes. A lot of read option. When he gets in the field, he barely runs read option. And when he runs, sometimes he looks dorky and slow. But Patrick Mahomes has a lot of rushing touchdowns. Like, I'm not just talking about 1 yard rushing touchdown. I'm talking about 15, 20 yard rushing touchdowns at Texas Tech because we ran a lot of read option with Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. We did a lot of read options and RPOs and things like that with Patrick Mahomes, and they don't really do that in Kansas City. Even though he runs a little bit more sometimes, but he did run more at Tech. He doesn't do that as much as he does. He doesn't do that as much as he did. It's kind of similar to CJ. Not saying that CJ's Patrick Mahomes, but more kind of similar to CJ. That's why they don't utilize him to run. That's why I was surprised on that play call when they did the fake to Beck and he ran it. I don't know if that he called his own number on that or what the case may be, but it was a beautiful fake because it faked me. It was a beautiful fake. I actually got mad. I ain't gonna lie to you because I was right there in the end zone. So when I see Beck jump over, I'm like, they hand the football off to Beck. Ah, man, he ain't gonna get it. And then when I see 7 creeping out running, I said, oh snap, CJ got the ball, and he goes in and scores a touchdown. So. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. But no, CJ's not scared to run the football. I never think he's scared to run the football. It's just that that's not his game and that's not what's been told to him. I do feel like I think hopefully they can get some of this done more before the regular season ends and before we get to the playoffs, so we can get some of this situation done a little bit more. But I definitely think that's something they're going to fix during the offseason. They're going to make sure to incorporate CJ's legs a little bit more because it's sometimes that you're right. It's sometimes, especially that game on Sunday, that his legs could have definitely benefited us. Tom Brady is a pocket passer and he ran as well. He didn't run like that. Shout out to Chris for the super chat love once again. I seen him run. I seen Peyton Manning do the ugliest play fake against the Dallas Cowboys when he was the Denver Broncos, like the ugliest play fake and wobble and run. He's like running and wobbling like this when he got to the end zone. I seen one of the most ugliest wobbles and runs to score a touchdown. Like I said, with Peyton Manning, so it's definitely been done. And I'm not disputing that or diffusing that at all. Like it's definitely have and can be done. I'm not disputing or denying that. But what I am saying is that that's just not what's been told as of yet. Like hasn't been added to the repertoire. We seen flashes in there, but it's not his. And those are design runs. Those are okay quarterback keepers. Those are not the play breaking down and he making plays because he's not Deshaun Watson. That's something that Deshaun did. Like I went back and watched the game, and there was a couple times that third and fourth and one especially. I'm not gonna lie. If Deshaun Watson was the quarterback, those probably get those. I'm like 85 to 90% sure those are converted if Deshaun Watson's the quarterback because he's going to use his legs. He's going to use his legs. He's going to drop back and it's going to be open. He's going to look and he's okay. I can run and get this first down. Even though Deshaun does hold on to, even though Deshaun held onto the ball a long time, looking downfield trying to make a play. But in that type of situation, Deshaun's going to get the first down. And in that type of situation, 1 yard because I can get in 1 yard, I'll be able to get a new fresh set of downs, to be able to throw the football and do whatever I need to do and get the football to my playmakers, get the football to hop and things like that. He would have rushed for that 1 yard. He definitely would have rushed for that 1 yard. Like I said, I'm like 85 to 95% sure, like 85% to 95% sure he would have ran that in and scored. And I ran that in and I scored a touchdown, but ran that in and got the first down. Like I'm pretty sure that's what he would have done. That's definitely what he would have done. He would have made sure that he would have made sure that he had converted and got that first down. He definitely would. Like I'm definitely sure that he would have ran converted that. Oh, that boy hit another 3. My bad, shot. Boy, we beating the mess out of Washington. 131 to 110, boy. Second best team in the Eastern Conference. Oh, no, scratch that. The best team in the Eastern Conference. We beat Boston on Black Friday. Best team in the Eastern Conference. But I don't care what I don't care how you feel about it. Best team in the conference. Go Rockets. I have no issue with the Rockets. I like the Houston Rockets. Like don't get me wrong, I like the Houston Rockets. Some of my favorite players play for the Houston Rockets. I like the Houston Rockets. I have no issue with the Houston Rockets. But my favorite team is the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic are the best team in the Eastern Conference. I don't care how anybody feels about it. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference. I don't care how you feel about it, how you slice it. They're the best team in the conference. Which is actually the Texans. The Magic actually has number one defense and number one defense in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken, too. But anyway, that's beside the point. We're talking Texan content. But I just have to throw that out there that the Orlando Magic are the best team in the Eastern Conference. But anyway though. But like I was saying, so this like I said, this is the thing though. Like to my original point, like the Texans. And the Texans, they have now put themselves on the stage. And to your point about CJ using his legs, now people are going to be watching. Like I said, this is going to be the most viewed game for the Texans. It is. This is the game where the majority of America get to see the Texans. Like I said, I think it's over 50%. It's the most viewership that the Texans, percentage-wise viewership that the Texans have had all this season. They have not had a game where over 50% of the country is able to watch the game. And you're going to have, and the good thing is that, the good thing is that Denver is on 5-game winning streak, 6-game winning streak, five game. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They're a game, y'all both coming to the game at 6-4. 6-5. And they were right behind you. And you're right behind the Colts in the division. In the playoff race, and Denver's right behind you. So this is a quasi playoff game. It's not a real playoff game, and it's not early on in the season. It's not early on in the season where because all tiebreakers matter no matter if they week 1 or week 4. Week 1 or week 14. But it's not early on in the season where you can still get past it like Pittsburgh. As of right now, Pittsburgh is 7-4. You're 6-5. You beat Pittsburgh. It might get to the point where that Pittsburgh loss doesn't hurt Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh win doesn't hurt Pittsburgh because it might be a type of situation where Pittsburgh has stacked up so many wins that tiebreaker doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter if they don't have a tiebreaker against you because they have so many wins upon their belt. That possibly could be the situation. That's not the situation this game is in. This is in the thick of it. There's only 6 games left. After this game, there's only 5 games left. If you beat somebody, have the tiebreaker over them, and have a better record than them, with only 5 games left to go, the margin for error is basically non-existent, and it's very hard to bounce back. That's part of the reason why I don't feel like the Texans are going to catch Jacksonville. I think the sample size, like it's too small. It's not enough games to make enough ground. Not to mention you're down by 2. You're down by 2. Jacksonville is 8-3. You're 6-5. You're down by 2. You have to have a better record than them because they have a very good division record. They're 4-1 division. You're 1-2 in the division. Yeah, that's something that you haven't played your divisional games yet. But Jacksonville only has one more division game left, and it's against the Tennessee Titans. If they beat the Tennessee Titans, they beat Tennessee Titans. It doesn't matter. They win the division. Because they're just going to end up not only having the better division record, they're going to end up having the same. More likely, the worst they'll probably be doing is the better record. So they have to lose the Titan game. That's their most important game on the schedule, is making sure that they beat the Titans. If they lose to the Titans, that's what this will start running off the rails, and that will creep the Texans in to win the division. But that's a conversation for another video. But what I'm saying is this Denver game. It's late on the season where the room for error is small. The margin of error is extremely small, and they can't afford to lose to you. You can't afford to lose to them. So, like I said, it's not a playoff game because even though somebody can lose, you can still win the playoffs because you still got other teams in front of you. Because Cleveland has to play. I think Cleveland has to play both Houston and Denver. Like I said, Pittsburgh has already lost to Houston. I don't know if they played Denver. So it's still you still can make the playoffs. Both teams can make the playoffs. It's just the likelihood of it. The likelihood of both teams making the playoffs are slim and slim to none at that standpoint. And that's the point that I'm getting at. That's why the room for error is very, very slim and very, very small and very, very minute. You have to make sure you win this game. And again, so 50% of the country watching the game. It's basically a playoff game for both teams. Everybody's been hearing about the C.J. Stroud kid. They want to see it. The only thing they can do is watch some highlights. And they see, oh man, he throwing deep to Tay Dale. Oh man, he threw 400 yards. They seeing all this. Now they want to watch it in real time because they look at their feed. They look at it in the news feed, especially if they got fantasy. They look at it like, dang, another 300-yard game, another 300 plus multi-touchdown game. What? They constantly, he put rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. What? They starting to see this week after week after week when they watching the numbers, they watching the stats, and they watching the highlights. They want to watch this in real time. They want to watch it in real time. The NFL wants to show this, and I know they are kicking themselves. That's why they said they made a mistake. That's why they went. They won. They moved this game early. They didn't have to move. They moved the game a week earlier than they had to. They made this game flexed a week earlier than they had to. They have to do it. They had to do it as fast as they did it, but they did it as fast as they did it because they wanted to go ahead and hurry about it. We're gonna make sure that we get them out, and they apologized. Hey, we were wrong. We should have got the Texans on primetime, but it's really not their fault. It's not their fault. The main person is Jeff Bezos because he's the one who changed the format. Because again, for y'all who don't know, the format since 2010. Every single team in the NFL, all 32 teams, get at least one Thursday night game. At least one Thursday night game. Every team gets one Thursday night game. That way, every person that one at that time the NFL Network owned Thursday night football, and then you had Fox had bought it for a minute, and CBS had it for a little minute. I don't think NBC's never had it. Only time NBC does a Thursday night game is on like opening day type situation. And I think that's it. I don't think they do another thing. And Thanksgiving. The NBC does on Thanksgiving because both Fox and CBS do the Cowboys and Lions game, and then the Thanksgiving night game is done by NBC. So NBC only has 2 Thursday night games. That's the season opener and then the Thanksgiving game. That's it. The other Thursday night games are either done by the NFL Network or done by Fox or done by CBS. And those contracts kept on going and going and going, renewing people. This person buying this team, but when they package in, when they buy the Super Bowl, they buy this package too, and things like that. So because of that, if they make sure that every team, every market was able to be thrown and seen. That everybody ain't getting a home playoff game, but everybody's getting the game. Well, I think the Texans, because 2020 is the only time that we didn't get a home playoff game. I mean, a home primetime game. That I can remember. Because every year's 2010. No. 2010 we had the Monday night game against the Ravens. 2010 we had the Monday night game against the Ravens. Like I said, 2020 only primetime game we really had was the season opener against the Chiefs. That was in Kansas City. Last year we had the home game against Philadelphia when the Astros won the World Series and they were playing the Phillies, and that's when we broke out the red helmets. And we almost beat. Well, we played competitive. It was a competitive game against the Eagles. The week before that, the year before that was against the Carolina Panthers. That game was at home too on Thursday night. That was actually Davis Mills' first start. And then, like I said, then like 2019, we had Thursday night game against the Colts at home. We had the Sunday night game against the Patriots at home. That's 19. 18 would be Monday Night Football against the Titans when Lamar Miller rushed for had that 99-yard rush, and then we also had that game against the Dolphins when Deshaun threw 5 touchdowns and only had like 4 incompletions. That's 19. That's 18. I'm sorry, that's 18. 17. We had the game against the Chiefs, Deshaun rookie year. The game with JJ and Whitney Mercer both got hurt. Yeah, that's what that. Like I said, that's 17. 16. 16 was that Sunday night game against the Colts when Brock Osweiler had came back. 16. 15. 15 with the Patriot game. It was like the game. Because actually that season we didn't know. The only primetime game we had originally was against the Bengals on Monday night when T.J. Yates had scored the game-winning touchdown with Hop, and then we ended up getting that Monday night, that Sunday night game flex with the Patriots. That was in 15. 14. So what was the third night game that year? We had a third night game that year. Oh, the third night game was against the Colts. It was. The third night game was against the Colts when Jalen Strong had scored them two. When Jalen Strong had scored them 2 touchdowns. And that was at home. Then 2000. That was 2000. That was 2015. 14 was at home against the Colts again. That's when JJ had scored their touchdown. Scored their rush touchdown. That was in 14. 13. Primetime game at home was against the Colts on Sunday Night Football when Gary Kubiak had collapsed. That's 13, right? 12 was home against the Packers on Sunday Night Football. That's 12. 11 won the home game in 11. Because the only primetime game in 2011 was at Indy on Thursday night. Yeah, so last time was 2020, and then the time before that was all the way in 2011. So 10 years, damn near 10 seasons without having a home, with a 10 season straight of having a home primetime game, and it ended in 2020 because of Bill O'Brien, COVID, whatever, however the excuse, and now we back at it again. That won't be the case next year. You're gonna get, like I said, you're gonna get 3 primetime games guaranteed. You're gonna get a Sunday night game, you're gonna get a Monday night game, you're gonna get a Thursday night game. I know some of y'all don't like Thursday night game, but as much money as Jeff Bezos paying, he's gonna want to make sure his big stars on there. So they're gonna make sure they're gonna put him on Thursday night. Sunday night, I believe, is the best production, the best crew, and the best games is on Sunday night, and then Monday night, because they still hold Monday night accountable, like as far as hey, it's Monday Night Football. I wouldn't be surprised if we start the season out with a primetime game. If we're the season opener as far as like the Sunday night game, we're the season opener on Monday Night Football, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think we'll be the third. The only way will be the Thursday, the start of the season off on Thursday night is if you win Only way if you win the Super Bowl or whoever wins the Super Bowl has you as an opponent. So I mean, I don't know who's our opponents next year. We will play the AFC. We play the AFC West. We played the AFC West last year. We play the AFC East next year. Next year we'll play the East. Cause this year we play in the North. So next year we'll play next year we'll play the Dolphins. We'll play the Dolphins, Bills, Jets, and Patriots. So unless the Bills or the Jets, I mean the Jets, unless the Bills or the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, it ain't gonna be one of them. Then it depends if we finish first, second, and third place, and who else finished first, second, and third place will be our other two AC opponents. Obviously, are people who win our division, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and the Colts. And then our NFC opponents would it be the West? No, would it be the NFC West? Because this year is the NFC. No, it'd be the NFC North. It'd be the Bears and them, huh? It'll be the Bears and the Vikings. It'll be the NFC North. So it'll be the Bears, the Vikings, the Green Bay Packers, yeah, and the Lions. That's exactly who it'll be. Cause we played the East last year. Cause we played the Cowboys them last year. This year we played the South, and then we played the West. We played the West 2 years ago. We played the West. We played the West 2 years ago. So yeah, so it'll definitely be it'll be the AFC and the NFC North. That's the NFC team that will play. So then we'll have whoever the other game, whoever the 17th game is. I don't know who they'll be. So whoever game that end up being that game, that's what that game will end up being. So it just all depends on who that game is. But but like I said, we will definitely have some primetime games next year for sure. Like I said, that's just at minimum three. We'll potentially have even more than that. Like I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we one of the teams that if we one of the teams that have if we one of the teams that have five primetime games. I think the record is six. I don't think nobody ever has more than six. I don't see the Texans next year having six unless they win like the Super Bowl or make the AFC Championship, or make the AFC Championship, make the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. I don't see unless they somewhere in that spectrum, like win the Super Bowl, make it to the Super Bowl, or make the AFC or AFC Championship game. I don't think they'll have six because I don't think they still won't be that big of a draw. Even though CJ, because I mean they weren't that big of a draw with Deshaun, but to that point, even with Deshaun, we wasn't getting carried like this as far as like from a national media standpoint. They talked about like they would talk about Deshaun like the lovable loser type situation when it came to the Texans. It was like, oh okay, we know Deshaun played well, like type situation, and then move on to the next segment. Now it's full-fledged segments about the Texans, even when we playing bad teams. It's full-fledged segment about the Texans. It's full-fledged segment about Texans when we're playing bad teams. And it's full-fledged segments about the Texans once the Texans even lose and they mention, oh, such beat the Texans, but see, Stroud looked amazing. It was the other way around. Like Deshaun Watson would beat Patrick Mahomes and beat Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season, and it was all about what's wrong with the Chiefs. What was wrong with the Chiefs more so than the Texans playing well. So and like I said, and Deshaun still wasn't the bigger draw. Like I said, like we only had one primetime game in 2020. We had Deshaun there. I guess the most games we had in prime time would be 2019 Monday night season opener against the Saints, Thursday night football against the Colts, Sunday night football against the Patriots. I think that's it. That's the only primetime games. It was them three. The year before that, you had Thursday night game against the Dolphins, Sunday night game against the Cowboys, Monday night game against the Titans. Oh, you did have a Saturday night game again. It was night. It was like afternoonish night. It's like it was around like the game started like around like 5. Like it didn't start at 3. Like the game started like at 4 or 5. It started late. It started later than normal against the Jets on Saturday night. So I guess maybe you can consider that a primetime game. So yeah, so you had 4. You had 4 one year. You had 3 the next. So yeah, 4 one year. You had 3 the next. And that is coming off of Deshaun Watson first 6 games as a rookie. So who knows? So, but like I said, I appreciate everybody that came through. Before y'all go, make sure you're hitting that like button, man. It's very, very key and very, very vital that you hit that like button. Definitely appreciate that. Make sure you're hitting that like button before we go. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Um, Oh, yeah. Play the song, play the song, play the song. Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic. Oh, you sure, hey, you sure right, Eagle fan. You sure right. Play the song, play the song, play the song, play the song, play the song. Play the song. You so right. I know some people been mad, but I don't care. To Orlando Magic, the best team in the Eastern Conference. I'm trying to tell you. Best team in the Eastern Conference. But y'all don't want to hear that. I know y'all don't want to hear that. But it's cool. It's very cool. Best team in the Eastern Conference. But anyway, but like I was saying though, best team in the NBA. Period. Hey, I ain't really been watching the West. I really don't know what the West is doing. I ain't gonna be like. I've only basketball I've really been watching is the Magic. I haven't watched nobody else. I really haven't. I haven't watched nobody else. I've watched some of the Rockets games. I ain't gonna lie. I've watched some of the Rockets games, but like it's like I maybe watched like two Rockets games. I know I watched the one. Was it the 76ers? I know I watched them beat Denver. It was another game I seen they won too. I can't forget. It won them tournament games. It won them tournament. It won them tournament games. And that's another thing too. That tournament stuff is stupid. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know I thought the tournament stuff was stupid before the season, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna be cool with it because I ain't gonna lie. If the Magic or my team win the tournament, I'm being there and be like, oh yeah, we tournament champs. I don't care what none of y'all say. That tournament stuff is stupid. Now, you don't have the fact that the Magic didn't make the tournament because I guess like point differential, like the Magic are 3-1 in the turn, 3-1 in the tournament or the qualifier, whatever thing comes. They're 3-1. They only lost one game, and it's a three-way tie, I guess. Like I get everybody 3-1, and like we missed it by half a point, like by point differential by half a point. Like we it's like a five. It was 5 points and 5.5. Like we missed it by half of 5 points. Like half a point is what we missed it by. I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't really get that. I don't really get. And like I said, the players and the coaches, they really don't understand it. Like nobody really understand like how that stuff really works. So the NBA got to do a better job of explaining. I don't know. I think they're just trying to rush and try to do some stuff. I don't know. Like I really don't know. So my original point stands. I think that tournament thing is stupid. But that's a conversation for a whole nother day. I digress. I said make sure you're hitting that like button. Appreciate everybody that came through. Appreciate everybody hit the super chat. Definitely appreciate super chat love. Definitely appreciate y'all know how much I mean, how much that means to me, how much I think about, how much I appreciate that. So thank you so much for hitting that super chat. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. If you ain't hit the like button right now, make sure you hitting that like button. It's very, very key and very, very vital to the channel for the notifications, for the algorithm. So anytime I post, anytime I go live, you know. Anytime I go live, you know. Anytime I post, you know. Anytime I post a notification, I know post in the community tab, you know. Anytime I post a short, you know. A regular video, pre-record video, you know. Anytime those things happen, you will know. It notifies y'all because it knows the algorithm. It knows that this channel is getting engagement. It's not just a dummy channel. It's not just a channel just sitting on YouTube. It's getting interaction. It's getting engagement. So make sure y'all comment. I need all the comments. Make sure y'all like. Very, very key, very, very vital. Make sure y'all watch. The most important thing, make sure y'all watch. Make sure y'all watch it. Make sure y'all subscribe because still in the race to get to 6,000 subscribers. I need you to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell another friend, so they can tell some more friends, so they can tell a whole bunch of more friends, and make sure they know about the channel. Put them on game with the channel. Make sure they know about the channel. Put them on game with the channel. So I definitely need that. I definitely need that. So make sure that you put them on game about the channel. And let them know so this channel can keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. Definitely appreciate that. Like I said, so make sure y'all know about the channel. Make sure y'all liking, y'all subscribing. Make sure y'all go into the community wall, community tab, and make sure y'all like it. Like I just put some up there asking who's your favorite Texan of all time. It's a picture of the Texas legend wall. So make sure y'all go over there and vote. Y'all let me know who y'all favorite Texans of all time is over there. So make sure y'all let me know who y'all favorite Texans of all time. Make sure you like that, you comment that, you keep that engagement going in over there. Make sure you're watching the shorts. When the shorts post, I also got a video of me being at the game, and also got a video of like I said, the Legends Wall as well on the shorts. So make sure y'all watching those things. Make sure y'all liking them, y'all sharing them, y'all subscribing them, and y'all getting it. And y'all keep the channel growing. Andre is a semifinalist in the Hall of Fame. He better get in. No, he better. Yeah, man, don't get me started on that. Drake's my favorite football player ever. Period. Man, don't get me started on that. Drake definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And they quit playing. They keep. Boy, we gonna save that content for when that time comes. Cause if he don't get in the Hall of Fame this time, man, like we go. Yeah, thank you, bro. First ballot Hall of Fame. Yeah, like I said, appreciate everybody that came through. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank you, everybody came through. Make sure y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe. Got another video coming on the way. Y'all want to know about the playoffs? Y'all gotta stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe. I'll holla.